So you want to learn how to play the Karakuri Katana in Wild Hearts S. Well, you're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to break down this weapon's moveset step by step. And by the end, you'll be fully prepared to tackle just about any kimono thrown your way.
How to play.
Alright, to start off, we can unsheath our weapon by pressing Y on the controller. And this will bring us into a neutral stance. From here, we can perform some light attacks with Y, heavy attacks with X, and some special attacks with ZR or the right trigger. But for now, let's start off with the light attacks first. Pressing Y once will perform just a basic light attack, and this can be stringed into a 5-hit combo that isn't too powerful, but is pretty good for getting some quick damage in. Moving on from there, we can perform some heavy attacks by pressing X, and this can be stringed into a 3-hit combo that ends with a powerful EI slash that hits the monster twice, but only requires one input. But this combo can play out a bit differently. Instead of just tapping X at the last hit in this combo, you can instead mash the attack button, and this will perform a flurry of EI slashes that does a considerable amount of damage. This combo will go on for quite a while, but it will eventually end with a roundhouse slash. Moving on from there, we have some special attacks assigned to ZR that will consume stamina, but will also offer some additional attack power as a trade-off. Pressing ZR once will allow you to do a forward lunge that covers a decent amount of ground. Pressing ZR again will follow this up with a multi-hit flurry attack. And then pressing ZR a third time will round the combo out with an EI Sunder Slash. Also, you can string in these special ZR attacks with your normal light and heavy attacks. For example, pressing ZR after any light attack will allow you to skip the forward lunge and go straight into a flurry attack. And you can actually alternate back and forth between a light attack and a flurry attack by alternating between Y and ZR. And this will do a considerable amount of damage, but it will also very quickly chew through your stamina, making it a very powerful burst option. Additionally, pressing ZR at any point during your heavy attack combo will allow you to skip straight into the EI Sunder Slash. So you can squeeze out a little extra damage out of your heavy attack combo by rounding it out with an EI Sunder Slash. That about covers the katana's basic moveset, but we still have yet to unlock this weapon's true potential. Landing a hit on the monster with the katana will fill up a blue meter in the bottom left corner of the screen. This is the Karakuri Katana's release gauge. Once you've fully filled this release gauge up, you can press ZR and Y or ZR and X, and this will unbind your katana, turning it into a whip. Once you're in this unbound state, your overall moveset will remain the same, but your overall damage and range will increase substantially, as well as adding a multi-hit effect to each of your attacks. However, your release gauge will rapidly deplete while you're in this state, and you'll revert back to the katana's original form once this gauge is fully depleted. So you'll naturally want to save this unbound state for whenever you find a good opening. But if you do find yourself unbinding your katana in an inopportune moment, you don't necessarily have to waste your entire release gauge. While unbound, if you press ZR and A at the same time, this will revert your katana back to its original form, and also salvage whatever's left of your meter, which has certainly come in handy for me more than a few times. Alright, I think that about covers the katana's unbound state, but we still have the Karakuri attacks to go over. So first, let's go over the plunging attack. This can be achieved by pressing Y or X in the air after jumping off a stack of crates. And you technically don't need a full stack of crates to perform this attack, as it can also be achieved with only 2 or even just a single crate, but it will do reduced damage, so something to keep in mind. And this move is actually very strong. In fact, the Karakuri Katana in particular has one of the most powerful plunging attacks in the entire game, so this move is definitely worth going for. And then we also have the spring attack. So out of a spring jump, you can press either X or Y and this will perform a charging spin slash. This move doesn't do a ton of damage, but it is a good distance closer. So that's all well and good, but we can also incorporate the unbound state into our Karakuri attacks. So for a point of reference, if we perform a plunging attack with just the default starting katana, it will deal 333 damage, which is definitely not bad. Now if we unbind the katana and then perform the attack, let's see just how much damage it does. (787 damage. More than twice the amount of damage. And this is just on the default starting katana. You can only imagine how crazy these damage numbers get later on. So feel free to abuse this knowledge as you see fit. Alright, so that about covers everything. So how do we bring this all together then? What's our overall game plan with the Karakuri Katana? Well, naturally, we'll want to get to the Unbound state as quickly as we can, seeing as it does give you a significant boost in both range and damage. But the question is, how to get there? Well, the EI/burst, which is our heavy attack combo, does hit multiple times in rapid succession, which is good for building up meter quickly. But this combo does take a bit of setup, and you're also locked into this attack animation, which is definitely useful when the monster is down or toppled, but not exactly ideal in the heat of battle. So while this is a pretty good option, it is also very commitment heavy. So what else is there? Well, we do have the light attack into flurry attack combo by alternating between Y and ZR. And this is of course a multi-hit attack, which is good for building up meter quickly. But then there is of course the problem of stamina, as this combo does burn through stamina quite quickly. But there actually is a slight variation to this combo that is a bit more stamina efficient. Instead of just going straight into the flurry attack out of a light attack, you can instead go into the flurry attack after every 2 light attacks. So this would be YYZR, YYZR. And while this combo variation doesn't output quite as much DPS, it also burns through your stamina a bit slower, which is definitely a fair trade-off. And here's the kicker. This variation of the combo will burn through your stamina just slow enough so that it has enough time to recharge for you to loop this combo indefinitely. So you can loop this combo as long as you want and build up the katana's meter, while also dishing out a good amount of damage in the process. Alright, so we figured out our optimal strategy to fill up the katana's release gauge. So what do we do when we've actually unbound our katana? Well, believe it or not, exactly what we were doing before. That's right. The YYZR combo is also your best bet while unbound, because this combo just does a ridiculous amount of damage, and it also won't fully eat through your stamina before your release gauge depletes, making it your overall best bet. But if the monster is down or toppled and you have enough time, it might be better to go for the EI/burst or the plunging attack, as those both do a considerable amount of damage. But I'll leave that up to you. So now that we've fully gone over the Karakuri Katana's moveset, let's take it out into the field and see how it does. Alright, and that about wraps up my guide on the Karakuri Katana and Wild Hearts S. Overall, the Karakuri Katana is a very fun and versatile weapon. It's fairly quick, easy to use, and packs a surprising amount of power, thanks to its unbound state. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and also, let me know if you'd like to see any other weapon guides for Wild Hearts S. Either way, I'll catch you all in the next video.